Hi everyone! Today I'm speaking in English because the poem I'm reciting was originally written in English, and besides, in this day and age, everybody should speak English. Some of you suggested that I put subtitles of the poem while reciting it. I haven't managed to find a way to do it yet. I promise I'll do it one day, but in the meanwhile I just keep putting a link for the text of the poem in the video description below. In this video I'm reciting The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost, a poem that was recommended to me by my French teacher Nasser Kefi, that I warm-heartedly thank for the excellent recommendation, and not only. I'll start by introducing the poet and his works, then reciting the poem, and at the end I'll be giving a short analysis. Robert Frost is a renowned American literary figure and the only poet to receive 4 Pulitzer Prizes for poetry. Actually, he's almost an artistic institution just by himself. As he frequently wrote about scenes from rural life, especially in New England in the first 20th century, using them to examine complex social and philosophical themes, Frost was named in 1961 a Poet Laureate of Vermont. The Road Not Taken is one of Frost's most popular works, published in 1916. Its central theme is the divergence of paths, both literally and figuratively, as we'll see later on, although its interpretation is notable for being complex and divergent as well. Actually, Frost wrote it as a joke for his friend, the English poet Edward Thomas. Frost spent the years 1912 to 1915 in England, where among his acquaintances was the English poet Edward Thomas. Thomas and Frost became close friends and often went on walks together. So once, during a walk in the woods, Thomas was chronically indecisive about which road they ought to take, and in retrospect lamented that they should have taken the other road. So here's what the poem says. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveller. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet, knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere, ages and ages hence, 2 roads diverged in a wood. And I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Again, the poem allows different interpretations. It begins with a dilemma, and the speaker having to choose between 2 paths. Wishing he could just be one traveler to travel both at the same time, underscoring a fantasy of unity and simultaneity, which would have allowed him to elude the obligation to choose between the 2. And that is what life is all about. We are constantly cursed with having to make choices. It's funny because on the one hand, the human being longs for freedom, and on the other, we are reluctant to making choices. Afterward, the speaker tries to persuade himself that he made the right choice by taking the road less traveled by, although he immediately admits that both roads were actually equally untraveled. Then he claims that he kept the first one for another day. Then immediately admits that whichever roads he takes, he will presumably enjoy a walk filled with pleasant fall foliage. At the end, the poet turns something as irrational as an impulse or an intuition into a triumphant, intentional decision, making him different from common people. So it is not simply a poem that champions the idea of following your own path, but expresses some irony regarding that idea. Actually, the poem subtly conveys the message that the concept of choice is in and out of itself a kind of artifice. So, you see, as simple as the poem might seem firsthand, it unfolds in several philosophical layers before our very own bewildered eyes. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.